Overtrading is not about greed. That's the story people tell because it's simple and flattering. Greed implies ambition. Overtrading isn't ambitious, it's anxious. Most traders don't overtrade because they want more money. They overtrade because they cannot tolerate stillness. Silence feels like exposure. No position means no protection. No trade means you're forced to sit with uncertainty. The chart is moving. Time is passing. And your brain interprets inactivity as falling behind. So you trade. Not because the setup is clean, but because being flat feels like you're losing control. This is the part nobody admits. Overtrading is a behavioral reflex, a stress response. You're not trading the market. You're trading your discomfort. That's why it happens even after wins. That's why it happens after losses. That's why it happens on chop days when nothing is there. The market gives you quiet. You respond with noise. And the worst part? It feels productive. Entries, exits, lines drawn, activity masquerading as work. But activity is not execution, and movement is not progress. Most blown accounts weren't destroyed by bad strategy. They were eroded by unnecessary participation, death by involvement. This is the day you stop pretending this is about setups. It's about control. Your brain hates uncertainty more than loss. That's not poetic. That's biology. Uncertainty means no prediction. No prediction means no safety signal. So the brain searches for action to regain control. Trading provides that. You click a button, and the discomfort drops. Not because the trade is good, but because you did something. Action reduces anxiety. Temporarily. This is why traders keep trading even when they know they shouldn't. The trade is not the goal. Relief is. You are not chasing profit. You are escaping unease. That's also why your standards slip as the session goes on. Early in the day, you're calm, selective, patient. Later, you're reactive, compressed, loose. Nothing about the market changed. Your nervous system did. Mental fatigue lowers inhibition. Emotional residue builds. You start interpreting mediocre setups as good enough. You justify entries faster. You exit slower, not because you lost discipline. Because discipline was never the driver. Control was. And control degrades under stress. Overtrading is what happens when your nervous system is allowed to trade instead of your rules. This is not a market issue. It's a self-regulation failure. And until you treat it that way, it keeps coming back. You don't need theory to understand overtrading. You don't need another mentor. You don't need another strategy. You already have proof, not opinion, not anecdotes, not Twitter threads. Proof. It's sitting in your trade history, untouched, because deep down you know what it's going to say. Pull your last 30 sessions, not your best ones, not cherry-picked, all of them. Now do something most traders never do honestly. Sort your trades by sequence. Trade 1, Trade 2, Trade 3, Trade 4, no indicators, no market conditions, just order. And then look at expectancy. Most traders do this once and never do it again, because the pattern is embarrassing. The first trade of the day usually makes sense. It's planned. It lines up with bias. Risk is controlled. Stops are respected. The second trade is often still solid. Not perfect, but structured. You're still calm, still patient, still thinking in rules. And then something happens. By trade 3, quality drops. Entries get earlier. You're no longer waiting for confirmation. You're anticipating it. Stops start creeping, not because volatility increased, but because you want breathing room. Targets start drifting. You say things like, let's see. You stop being precise. This is not random noise. This is behavioral decay. By trade 4 or 5, you're no longer trading a system. You're trading your session. You're trading how you feel about the last trade. You're trading frustration. You're trading hope. You're trading irritation disguised as confidence. The market didn't change. You did. That's the part traders fight, because it means the enemy isn't complexity, it's accumulation. Every trade costs something, Not money, mental clarity. Decision load stacks quietly. Every entry is a decision. Every stop adjustment is a decision. Every target debate is a decision. Your brain doesn't reset between them, so by the time you reach later trades, you're already compromised. This is why traders say things like, I don't know what happened. What happened is you exceeded your cognitive capacity. Professional performance does not degrade suddenly, it erodes. And erosion is invisible while it's happening. Look at your worst losses. They're rarely the first trade of the day. They're usually later. They come after a win that made you feel invincible, or after a loss that made you feel behind. Same outcome, different emotional entry point. This is why one more trade is dangerous. Not because the trade itself is bad, but because you are no longer neutral. By the third or fourth trade, you are carrying residue. You're no longer asking, is this my setup? You're asking, can this fix my day? That question alone disqualifies the trade. Overtrading thrives in ambiguity. You don't need to be emotional to overtrade. You just need to be slightly off, slightly rushed, slightly annoyed, slightly eager. That's enough. This is where traders get defensive. They say, but sometimes my best trade is the third or fourth. Yes, and gamblers sometimes win too. Isolated outcomes don't override statistical decay. If your expectancy drops after trade 2 across 30 sessions, the system is clear. You are not built for unlimited decision making. No one is. Discipline is not infinite. Focus is not infinite. Objectivity is not infinite. Your data shows it. And ignoring that data is the most expensive form of arrogance in trading. You don't blow accounts because you don't know better. You blow accounts because you override what you already proved. Overtrading is predictable because your behavior is predictable. Same emotional arc, same justification, same internal dialogue. I'm already here. I still have time. One clean move. Same ending. The system doesn't fail loudly. It fails slowly while you rationalize it. Until one day, the damage is large enough that you can't explain it away. And by then, the account is already bleeding. The market isn't punishing you, it's exposing you. Your own data has been trying to tell you this the entire time, and until you respect it, you will keep paying for the same lesson. Overtrading isn't chaos, it's a pattern you refuse to cap, and patterns that aren't capped eventually consume the system they live in. That's not trading philosophy, that's math. Here's the rule: no optimization, no flexibility. You decide your maximum trades per session before the market opens. 2, 3, whatever your data supports. And once that number is hit, you're done. Flat means flat. Not unless it's really good. Not unless I'm up. Not unless I need to make it back. Done means done. This rule works because it removes choice at the moment you're weakest. You don't trust discipline under pressure, so you remove the decision entirely. Professional behavior is not about willpower, it's about constraint. Airplanes don't rely on pilot feelings, they rely on systems. You are no different. If you can't stop yourself, you design something that stops you. That's maturity. Tomorrow is about identity, because the real question isn't how many trades you take, it's who you think you are when you take them.